Welcome to Wonderful Beauty, your new K-pop haven.
We're Ann and TJ, your friendly second and third generation Nuna and Young, here to discuss random K-pop related topics.
With over 2 decades of friendship between us, we're inviting you on a nostalgic journey through the evolution of K-pop, from the iconic groups of the past to the hottest stars of today. We'll share our unfiltered opinions, hilarious anecdotes, and insider knowledge.
So grab your favorite snacks, hit play, and let's dive into the world of K-pop together.
So here we are. What are we wearing, TJ?
So what we're wearing today, this is the big wrap-up to our 17-week. These are the outfits that we actually wore to the 17 right here U.S. tour.
Woo.
Yeah, so why don't you tell our listeners what your outfit is inspired by?
Well, mine is inspired by the Anyone music video. You know, the one where they're like racing cars, they're in those racing jackets, all that fun stuff. Most of the basic colors is like the white, the black, some blue, some red. I found this on Urban Outfitters when it just blew up. I think post-pandemic, you know, when everyone's staying at home, they're buying things online, that sort of thing. So that's when I bought it. And apparently freaking Target decided to release it for a cheaper price. And I went F. And if everyone doesn't know, Urban Outfitters is expensive. This jacket cost me $100, but it is great quality though. Like I can be warm. Like this is a jacket I can definitely wear over and over again. But I did spend $100 on it. Yeah, but yeah, mine's Anyone music video inspired. Surprisingly and not surprisingly, a lot of Karens also got this jacket or the general idea of this jacket, and there's so many different concepts with it, and I love it.
Right. It was funny because when we were in Chicago, we saw a lot of people in the same outfit, but they were doing those poor kids from Boys Planet who became a meme for how bad they did Hot. And a lot of people thought you were doing the same concept, but you were over there like, no, I'm doing the Anyone video.
I was like, don't you know? Don't you know? I don't got no name tag on me.
We saw so many of them, and it was funny because even the admin of our trade group for Chicago was also wearing the same outfit.
Yeah, that was really funny. But she did put her name on it. I saw a lot of Karens that would put the boy's name, whatever the trainees were that did that performance. They put their actual name on it, which was really cool. But it was easier to spot her because I was like, oh, you're her. Right. And TJ, what about yours?
All right, so mine is actually inspired by I think it's like 15 seconds in the God of Music video. So mine is Wonwoo. I figured, you know, it's my first time making an outfit for a concert. Might as well do something for my bias. So I actually made this entire jacket as well as the pants, but I'm not going to stand up because I will most likely trip over a cat. Oh, no. But yeah, it's a real small clip. It's them all out in the middle of this field. And it's him, Woozy, Vernon, the 8, and I think Dino?
Too many members.
Too many members, yeah. And they're all wearing some sort of like multicolored outfit. Like some of them have mesh sweaters on. Some of them just have regular sweaters. I was originally going to do this really cool varsity jacket / windbreaker outfit that one wore on stage. I want to say it was for World. I'm not 100% sure, but I couldn't find that exact jacket, and I'm not the most crafty person. Like, I'm surprised how well this turned out.
Oh yeah, it looks really good. When you show me the work in progress, I was like, damn, because I wouldn't do that.
No, it was actually, it was a lot of fun. I'm literally out on my patio with a N90 mask on. My cats are wondering what's going on. I've got a tarp out there, and I'm just spray painting the crap out of this thing.
This poor cat's probably thought it's the end of the world.
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, I made this outfit in September. So here in San Antonio, and I'm sure in DFW as well, we were still experiencing summer.
It was so hot, man. It was so hot.
So hot. I kept having to come inside and like take the mask off, and I'm all red and pale. Oh, it was bad. But I'm really happy with the way that it turned out.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when you showed me, I think it's just right after you're done spray painting it. And I was like, that's a little too dark at first, right? And I was
Right.
like, you're going to wash it, right? And you're like, yeah, I'll wash it. It looks so much better after you wash it because
Yeah.
the colors faded and everything.
Yeah. I was really worried when it first came out because, like you said, everything was kind of darker than expected.
Yeah.
And I didn't match up the colors 100% because I forgot yellow, and fabric spray paint is really expensive. So
it really is,
like,
yeah.
I was like, I've already spent probably about $100 on my outfit, so we're going to leave that there. So I had to wait 72 hours before I could wash it. Just because of the way fabric spray paint works. And so I was really worried that, oh God, what if this doesn't turn out okay? I'm going to have to suffer anyways, because I already paid for it. I don't know if I can turn around, but I spray painted everything. Like,
oh yeah, no, look at that back. Yeah, it's pretty good.
The only thing that I forgot was, apparently the back of their pants are also spray painted, but I had run out of spray paint by that point. I was like, I'm not doing any more of this.
Yeah, I know. You were like, I'm done. I think it was after the fact too. It was probably maybe a couple days before you flew into the DFW area, before we both fly out to Chicago. You were looking at the music video again and you went, the F? Why is there colors on the pants? And I went, oh no.
Yeah, like we said, we actually flew all the way out to Chicago to see day one of the show, which was fantastic. Thank you to Kevin for paying for our flights, since he knew that we had to see the show. And
sponsored by my husband.
Right? No, 100%. Since he had a wedding to go to, and you had to watch the restaurant, so he was like, "I feel bad you guys can't meet up in San Antonio, so here, let me send you guys out to Illinois."
Yeah, pretty much. And also, it's my husband being very overprotective, especially of me and the child. He literally said, y'all can do Chicago. And I was like, well, I can, right? I don't think TJ can because I don't know how far advance you have to ask for off. And then also it's like, are you able to take off with your work? So I was like, I don't think TJ can. And he was like, I'll figure it out. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to figure it out? And literally at the same time, he's texting me. I was like, yo, you want to go see them in Chicago?
Literally, I'm at work. You and I are talking about it. Like, oh my God, they finally announced it. You're talking about, okay, I got my Carrot membership ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Kevin rarely ever messages me. Like,
Never.
We're friends. We're very friendly. He's, we're really close. But all of a sudden I see, how would you like to see 17 in Chicago? And I'm like, well, I'm talking to Ann right now. Worst case scenario, she'll send the kid to San Antonio and I'll watch him for the weekend. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
And this man, which we need to discuss the hierarchy when it comes to your life, because this man vetoes me and goes, nope, not allowed. I have to be at a wedding, so I'll pay for your flight. And I'm like, hold on, sir. First off, it's Anne, and then it's Anne's parents, me and the godmother, and then you're new. Hold on. I've been here for 20 years. Who are you?
You're like, you don't even go here.
Right. But no, thank you, Kevin, for sending us out there and letting us have this experience.
Yeah, and making it happen, because he knew how important this is for, well, not just for me, mostly important for my kid, because they've been a stand for all of the 9 years, 8 years, 9 years, I don't know. Yeah, so it's a huge thing. They were already sad about the announcement of the enlistment, so they were like hoping for, this will work out, but obviously it did not work out because Johan got enlisted. They cried super tears that whole day. It was so sad. But again, this is a huge deal because we've been to every 17 concert when they came to America. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. And to continue it and being able to get the tickets is great, It doesn't matter where, we got the tickets.
Oh, yeah, which is wild because I remember we were trying to find our seats and we sat down and you and I turned towards each other, looked at the seats a few times. We're like, there is no way we're this close.
Yeah, because on the seating map, when you're buying it through Ticketmaster, right? At that point, I was just kind of clicking for it because it was, I made a vlog about this on my YouTube channel. I was crying. I was clicking furiously. Amex stopped me because they think it's a fraud. I'm like, it's not a fraud. So yeah, and then no, seriously, on the seating mat, because all you see are dots, and you kind of like don't think much about how far you are from the stage. You're just clicking for it. And the moment we got there, I was like, I did good.
Right. Like we literally felt the pyrotechnics. That's how close we were.
Oh yeah, no. Oh god. We felt pretty much anything. Honestly, if we were to wave at the boys, I'm pretty sure they would be able to see us because they saw some of the signs behind us too, I think, or even near us.
Definitely.
Yeah. So,
which I think we should mention that when it comes to concert tickets, it's a full on like Fire Emblem strategic RPG thing with us. Like when we did Mamamoo, it was literally the day after Stray Kids.
Oh yeah.
You're at work, I think. I'm sitting in my mom's kitchen.
Yeah, I was
and
at
we
work.
both have Ticketmaster open, and I somehow ended up, I think, 800 seats ahead of you.
Yeah.
And it's both of us frantically trying to find something, and I'm like, oh my god, I found this. It's $250. You're like, credit card info, go.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly. It's I'll explain briefly about what happened with IU.
I was literally about to say, please tell them about IU.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so IU is Carrie, my little sister's absolute favorite artist. Stands her, love her since Marshmallow days. That's when you know it's real. It's Marshmallow days. So the moment she announced it, I was like, okay, Carrie, you're gonna have to tell me what your budget is because I'm willing to go all lengths. This is IU, right? And my sister was like, okay, I want to go as front as we can. I was like, great, if we can do that, that's great. But we need a backup plan. Like, if we can't get the floor seats, where do you want to go? And I literally pulled up the seating chart of the Oakland Arena, and I went, circle the places you would like to sit. No cost. Just circle it. And we circled it. And then in the end, Carrie was like, I'm so nervous because what if we don't get it? I was like, it's okay. I will be on it. You'll be on it. Kevin will be on it. We even have one of Carrie's best friends to be on it as well. And we had our server, Joe, who failed us. Because the tickets were supposed to go on sale at, I believe it was like 1, 2, or 3 p.m. Central Time. We all logged on. We all got in. It was super sad because we hit like the 10,000th person in line or something like that. I think someone got like 30,000. I forgot who. It was like a huge mess. And I was like, there is no way we'll ever get these tickets. And of course, Joe comes into the group chat. Hey, did we get the tickets? And I was like, you, Joe. And then Carrie's like, you failed me.
Has Carrie forgiven him yet, or is she still being salty about it?
She have forgiven him because he made merch for her.
Makes sense. I was about to say, do we need to pull Carrie on real quickly and Joe and have a little mediation?
Right. Just like a 30-minute long intervention. No, but in the end, I managed to get, I believe it was through StubHub, the tickets for the suite, which was just as good. I mean, just being able to get into that venue to see IU is once in a lifetime. I don't care how much money I spent, I got there.
It was great, and it was fantastic, especially as someone from my experience, because I know that IU is a performing artist, but I know her more as an actress, because my introduction to her, well, technically my introduction to her was the Kingdom performance that we showed in her 80s video.
Right, the Love Poem one.
Yes, and but my introduction to her personally was Hotel de Luna.
Right, iconic.
Which really upset Carrie, and I got scolded for that because I didn't know who she was. And I was sent the entire Soul playlist, told I need to know every single word and that there would be a quiz.
There will be a quiz.
Luckily, she got delayed like 8 hours before she got to Oakland, so there was no time for one.
And also, plot twist, IU, being iconic as she is, she actually put on the big screens when they showed up, you know, for the people who can't see really close to her on stage, put up on the big screen the lyrics to all her songs in English.
That was
and I was just like, that was so cool. So everyone can sing along if they want to. It was super great. And I was like, you know what? TJ got away.
Yeah. Which, Carrie, if you're listening, I definitely ended up stopping that because I was trying to focus on KCON. So forgive me. I apologize. I'll make it up for your Christmas present. Which is code for I'll throw money at Anne and she'll make up for it.
That sounds about right.
But anyway, so back to 17. We had so much fun with this experience.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm so glad that TJ was able to experience this as well. Because like I said, I've already been to 3 of their previous tours when they were here in America. So I even told TJ too, I was like, I know you love, Monster X. I know you love Stray Kids, but 17 has their own uniqueness when they're doing their concert. It's not just them performing, being charismatic or anything like that. They're comedians.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Which, it's just so funny because should I go into my story now or should we talk about the concert and then I go into it?
No. Let's tell your story because I want everyone to hear the story of a lifetime, of the century.
Okay, so it's so funny because I've had to explain this story so many times because I joined a Discord for the San Antonio show, and the admin and I were talking about it, and she was so shocked, and she's still kind of making fun of me for it. But
I'm glad she can join in on this club.
So I have to admit, as Ann knows, my entire personality and mental state revolves around being open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like it because sometimes I can be too open and honest, but I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, with our listeners, with fellow carrots. I hated 17 for many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
And not just for no reason. There's always a reason, as I've explained. If I don't like something, there's always a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see, about 7 years ago, give or take, I think it was.
Roughly around that time.
You got a chance to go to Louisiana to go see an LSU football game.
Yes.
Which, that would have made the kiddo about 8 or 9 at the time. I don't know exactly when the date was, but they were about 8 or 9. And at this point, Stephanie had already moved to, I think, the Cayman Islands. And, all of our friends were really busy with their careers.
Right.
And you drove, didn't you?
Yeah, we drove out there, and the reason why I didn't even want to move the the LSU game too was because I managed to get the big one, the big rivalry between LSU and Alabama. So it's very important to go to that. So I was like, I can't miss it. So yeah, we had to drive, I think like half a day to get there because we did do, pit stops for gas and everything like that too. Right. So yeah.
So you messaged me and you were like, hey, look, I'm going to this event with this person. We're driving. It's a really long drive. I don't think it would be good to bring the kiddo along just because an 8-year-old on such a long trip, plus they probably wouldn't have enjoyed the game. And so you're like, do you mind babysitting? Which of course, they're my godchild. I may not like children, but I make exceptions for the kiddo.
Of course.
And you were like, it's going to be 3 days. Really simple. I've already bought all your food. Lily's really easy to keep track of,
Right. Yeah. And then like the dogs are very tamed.
Oh yeah. So I was like, sure, not a problem. And I had a blast that weekend. We ordered Pluckers. We walked to the donut shop. We went to Half Price Books. I may have spoiled that child a little bit, but I mean, that's
you usually do though. Whenever you're around the kid, though. I
mean, like I said, I'm not a big kid person. I do not plan on having children, so this is one of 2 opportunities I have. I still remember going to Half Price Books and they were super into Minecraft at the time. And they had, I think it was the recipe book or something. They were reading something. And I was like, oh, do you have that one? And she goes, oh, no, I don't. And so I ended up texting you and I sent you a picture. I was like, hey, does Lily have this book? And you're like, yeah, they totally do. And I will not forget this. And I blame myself. I feel like the sassiness that your child has definitely comes from me and Stephanie because well, again, as I've explained in our 80s episodes, you're the docile one of our friends.
Yeah, I am.
So I think the sassiness definitely comes from me and Stephanie.
It ain't from me.
If we can ever get Stephanie on an episode, you guys will see exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I was like, hey, let's find something else. Your mom already said you had this book. And here's this 8-year-old kid sitting on the floor reading this book, whips their head up and goes, I do not. Oh, okay. Let's go check out. Let's go.
Oh my God.
But to tie this back into 17, as cute as this story is, one of the things that they did the entire time is they watched a fan concert DVD.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly which one it was. Again, it had to, I guess, be their first one, because if the kiddo was 8, that means they had to have just debuted not that long ago.
Yeah, I think it was their first one, and they managed to get it on DVD, and I got it for kiddo because they love 17. And I was like, this will be a cute little birthday gift. Here you go.
Yeah. And they didn't even watch the actual concert part. Because if they had watched the concert, I may have actually like gotten into it, enjoyed it. But instead, they watched the skit that they did, and they actually show it in the Magic Hour documentary that we live streamed.
Oh yeah, they did.
I think it was just the performance group that did it, but it was some classroom setting, and it was like the Heart 2 game or something, and they watched that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for 3 days straight.
All weekend.
And again, I love this kid to death. Don't get me wrong. I remember we had packed up their bags and everything because you were expecting to be home at this time, and then you messaged me being like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. We're going to be a couple hours late."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the kiddo going, "TJ, can I watch 17?" I was like, "No, 17's packed up. Go to bed."
17's gone. 17's done for the day.
Yes. And it was just, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And I put him to bed. And I remember you came through the door, and just the look on my face, and you're like, "Oh, did Lily misbehave?" I said, "No, but 17."
17 misbehaved.
Yeah. And it's really funny because at that time I wasn't into K-pop. Like, you know, as I mentioned in our K-pop journey episode, yes, I did the whole Wonder Girls thing, but at that point I'd fallen off the K-pop wagon, and I hadn't gotten back into it. And that was definitely not a great exposure.
No, it wasn't.
To have to deal with. So from there, I didn't care for them, just because I feel like that episode where they're talking about their favorite songs and Wonwoo says trauma. That's how I felt at the end of that weekend.
PTSD. Trauma.
Oh my God. And so fast forward, I just didn't care for them. I didn't take the time to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. But also,
of course,
to be fair though, you already said so many times before, you're not into the cutesy concept.
Correct.
And at the time, 17 was doing the cutesy back to back to back to back. So it would make sense that you were kind of also turned off by that.
Well, it also didn't help that once I did get into K-pop, I was girl groups only.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because you got into like Blackpink, Red Velvet, and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, and then you showed me Monsta X, and of course that turned into ATEEZ and Stray Kids, and then ATEEZ again.
And everyone else.
Yeah, and everyone else. So fast forward, let's see, we were at 7 years ago, fast forward 5 years, your bachelorette party. And I've always supported the kids'
2 years
obsessive behavior. Yeah, so that would have, well, we fast forwarded 5 years.
Okay, 2 years. 5 years. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Sorry, math is hard.
Math's hard. Oh my God.
Hard.
So we're at your bachelorette party, and I can't remember if we must have been getting ready to go to the parks. I think it was our last day at Disney. And I've always supported the kids' obsession with 17. Like, I've helped them buy stuff. I've looked for photo cards online. I was like, whatever. It is what it is. You know, I'm the same way with Monsta X. Like, as long as it's not BTS, I don't care. Which is funny because I did end up buying them a BTS sugar figure a couple of years ago.
I know. It was really cute, though. And I think it was on sale.
It was on sale, but it was also because they'd gone to nationals for their UIL thing. So
yeah, that's right. And then you're like, here you go. I bought the one BTS thing just for you. I love you.
So we were getting ready, and this is when our group had separated. It was just me, you, the kiddo, Carrie, and Christina, I think.
I think Ashley was there too, honestly. I think all of us was there. Maybe.
We were still there, but remember, that day we were splitting off. Half the group was going to stay behind, swim, and drink, and the rest of us were going to go out to the park. Because we had to go see Winnie the Pooh, because Carrie hadn't seen Pooh.
I know, and we were there for Pooh.
That's a whole nother story. That could be a whole different episode on its own, just that Disney trip.
Oh, no.
But, so, I remember being on my phone. I don't remember if I must have been on Tumblr, or maybe even Twitter, and someone had posted that there was a new video out, and I was like, okay, hey, and there's a new video out for 17. And you're like, wait, what do you mean? It's not comeback season. They just had their comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. Apparently it's called Cheers. And you called the kid down, and we were also kind of cleaning up from all the pictures we had taken before all the balloons were still on the floor.
Right.
And so I ended up casting it to the TV that was in our Airbnb, and ended up being the leader's video for Cheers, which was weird to me because I was like, wait, wasn't there a whole bunch more members? And I just remember you guys going ham. The kiddo picking up balloons off the ground, turning them into like thunder sticks. And I was like, okay, I have to admit, this is actually kind of catchy.
Right.
So fast forward, a couple of days later, we're all flying back home. I end up with the Rona for the second time.
Fun stuff.
Oh yeah, that was awful. I think I was out of life for like almost a week and a half. It was so bad.
You were pretty quiet after the trip.
I remember going to HEB that weekend, and we were talking, because for those who don't know, Anne and I talk literally every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talk more now that I've moved to San Antonio than when we lived like 15 minutes away from each other.
But I think it's only because it's easier access to get to you when you're here.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we were messaging, and I had been listening to Cheers. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give 17 a listen to. Which, yeah, and just gives me gasp in all capital letters.
I know.
And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, this song's not bad, this song's not bad. And then Game Boy came on, and I was like, this is horrible. What is this song? So fast forward a couple months later, and oh God. And then it happened. God.
Oh, TJ.
17 had their comeback.
Uh-huh.
And at this point, I was a casual listener. I've been watching some videos. And then 17 dropped Mother Super. And at this time, my habit was I would get up, I would watch the video while getting ready for work, which I can't do anymore because some videos are so chaotic now that I can't keep up with what's going on. So I do a blind listen first, and then I watch the video.
Right.
But I get up and I turn the video on, and then it was a one-way ticket to Carrotland.
A one-way ticket to Carrotland. Okay.
I just remember being like, holy crap, this is cool. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, this is happening. Why are there so many people on stage? Why are they so in sync? And I messaged Anne, and I remember being like, it happened. And she goes, oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? I was like,
yeah.
No, I'm a carrot now.
Oh yeah. Immediately told the kiddo.
Immediately told the kiddo. And it was funny because at that point I've been joking around because I think Super came out right before no, it had to have come out after your wedding. Right?
I believe so.
Because I remember being at a rehearsal dinner, and I was telling the kiddo, I've been listening to 17 and I actually have a bias. And it was Vernon at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Carrie being like, oh, that checks out. You know, the sassy one doesn't check his face, all that stuff. But I remember watching that video over and over again. I just instantly connected with Wonderful.
Yeah.
And this was before watching anything else. So I just knew him as, you know, that dude with the short hair who started the video off. He was really attractive.
Right.
And with how big 17 is, I've always said I have 2 biases and 2.5 biased records. Right. So I still had Vernon, and then Wonwoo took over the number 1 spot.
Right.
And then from there, we got, at that point, that's when the repackaging came out. Mm-hmm. And we both have a friend who lives in Oklahoma. We have a mutual GOM. And I remember messaging you being like, hey, 17 just released we released all their albums. I'm going to buy them all. Does the kiddo want anything? And I dropped, without EMS and domestic shipping, I dropped $85 on every 17 album.
Oh, yeah. Super fast.
Super fast. And I remember being like, oh, this is going to cost so much money. It was actually almost $100. But I'm one of those people of like, I want a complete collection, but I don't count every single album if there's a repackaged version of a single album.
Makes sense, yeah.
So I ended up getting Love and Letter repackaged versus Love and Letter because it had more songs in it. I did the same thing with K&K. They did Gravity and then Gravity repackaged. So I ended up getting the repackage, of course, because it had more songs.
Right.
Notified, literally a carrot at that point, and Anne is having the time of her life.
Oh yeah, I definitely am.
She's posting all of our chats up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I took a screenshot of Wanwu as he starts off super. You know, he's in the white outfit, got the really short hair, of course, no glasses because Wanwu has to be blind at all times. And I posted it and the caption on my Instagram story was, "Well, it happened. I'm finally joined Carrotland. This is my bias." And Anne screenshots it, reposts it, and the caption in all bright letters says, "Yay, baby carrot," with all these stickers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that.
no, right? Just everywhere.
And the funny thing is, you think it would end there. I've joined 17. Great, here we are.
Yeah, that's it.
No, that wasn't it. That absolutely was not it. I don't want to go too into detail because we are going to talk about our experience with the concert.
That's true, yeah.
But this is the first time that I have made an outfit for a concert.
Yep.
Usually I just buy a tour shirt and I wear a tour shirt, but I made an outfit from scratch.
Yep.
And we both made freebies.
We did make freebies, yeah.
So little tier warning for everyone before we start.
Oh yeah, right.
I went and saw the Follow Again tour movie in theaters, which I actually have the popcorn bucket and the cup.
I don't have those with me right now because Lily took it. And also the popcorn bucket is now being used at our house for our utensils.
17, all-purpose group. But anyways, while we were watching the movie, you know, they have their Talking Mint section at every concert, and Boo Sung-kwan
Oh yeah,
decided to make us all cry. Which I guess technically we should have known it was coming because, you know, they'd released videos from it beforehand. And he mentioned how this was his first concert without Moonbin.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he had passed previously and everything. So me and my two friends from work are sitting in the theaters and we're literally like starting to cry. Me and Chloe are taking our glasses off to get underneath. And Bershi's just all gracefully sitting there like...
like the queen she is.
Yeah, like the queen she is. But me and Chloe are literally like glasses off, just sobbing.
Right.
And so I decided, I remember I got out of the theater and I messaged Anne immediately because you went to the movie, right? Kevin went to the first one, you went to this one.
Yeah, I went to this one. I didn't go to the quote-unquote live stream of the other one. I went to this one, yeah.
So I told her, I was like, okay, I know we were talking about making freebies. I'm going to make everyone cry unintentionally, and I am going to bring Moonbin to the tour.
Yeah.
Because
and I said, go for it, yeah.
Because like Sung-kwan said that, you know, Moonbin shows up for at least one show, so I made Moonbin and Moonbin Sung-kwan photo cards to hand out to everybody.
Super cute.
I also have, I did it upside down by accident, first time doing this, but I also have the lyrics to Sung-kwan's Dandelion, which he wrote for Moonbin. And for those of you who may not be able to see it or can't read cursive, it says, "Thanks to you, I can love the day." So I figured that would be a nice little sentimental thing. I was really hoping that a VIP person would actually give one to Sung-kwan, but I don't think it happened. But the sentiment is still there.
No, and I mean, you got great feedback from that too. Everyone loved it. Everyone went, oh, you know, they felt a little emotional. But I think generally people loved it though, because the sentiment's there. The sentiment's definitely there. And then for my freebies, I did Bucky's. Yes.
My Wanwu is not here. He's actually in a PC holder attached to
cute, because
my backpack right now.
Yeah, because I have no more Wanwus, and spoiler alert, you guys, Wanwu and Minkyu is the most popular.
Oh, yeah.
And DK. Surprisingly, also DK.
Right.
But yeah, so because we're from Texas, and even though I wasn't going to the San Antonio stop, I still want to do Bucky's to represent my heritage.
Which was really actually kind of funny because, again, Bucky's is such a common thing for us here in Texas that we don't think so many people outside of the state actually know what it is, even though there are a couple of them outside of Texas. But your freebies were so popular. I heard so many people screech and go, "Oh my God, look, it's Bucky." And it was just kind of like, wait, how do you guys even know what Buc-ee's is? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be like somebody saying, "Oh my God, HEB is my favorite grocery store," and I'm like, "You don't
How'd you
have
know
HEB
about
here in
HEB?
Illinois."
Exactly. And it's so funny too because like TJ kind of mentioned, I was in this the Facebook 17 Right Here tour group thing. I believe it's run by Dancing Tiger, Mai. And she managed to do this whole general thing, and then people also did their own thing for each stop. So there's like one for San Antonio, Chicago, Oakland.
Wait. Dancing
What?
Tiger was the admin of our trade group?
No. She's in charge of the whole thing, like the general big one.
Oh,
And
I
then
was gonna say
no.
because I just gave her so much money. If I had known that, I would have just told her, "Hey, can you bring my stuff to the concert?"
No. She didn't even go to the Chicago one. She went to the New York with one of my good friends, and then also San Antonio because she lives in Louisiana. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna dox her, but I'm just saying in general she lives in Louisiana, and I only know this because most of her cup sleeve events are in Louisiana, so that kind of pinpoints it there. But anyways, so I was in that group thing. And then one of the admins for the Chicago one said, hey, we need to do like a separate chat for just freebies because it's getting way too crazy in the general chat. Let's make it more organized. So when they made it organized, I made these cards and I was like, hey, this is my freebies. If you want to trade, hit me up, all these things. And then, oh my God, so many people were like, Buc-ee's. And I was like, how the F do you know Buc-ee's? You're up north. What do you mean you know that? Are you from the South? You're not? How? I wish I have a photo of it because someone posted it on Instagram. They actually took one of my photo cards because they got one of the freebies cards early because they ordered a Caribbean island from me. And when they're traveling to San Antonio, they actually took a photo of the PC and their like little plushie of whatever member it was within the Buc-ee's merch area with the plushies.
That's
I was like,
so cute.
It was super adorable. I don't have the photo with me. I should have screenshot it, but it was super cute.
And I will say, so I actually went to two shows. I went to Chicago with the kiddo and Ann, and then I'm actually from from DFW. I live in San Antonio. In case my mother listens to this, because she will fight me.
She probably, how dare you not know your roots?
Right, exactly. So I ended up going to the San Antonio show, which I will do an entire episode about that because there were some issues with that show. But I took 200 freebies to Chicago, came back with 67, and I had 200 for San Antonio as well. And I joined a Discord group, which I kind of mentioned earlier, trading. And I also had all of Ann's extra freebies besides the ones that she just showed.
Right, yeah. I want to keep a set for myself, honestly, so.
That's what you think until I steal that DK.
Wait, what?
But,
Doing what? No, maybe I have an extra DK. I can find one.
Oh, good. Which, we'll talk about DK later when we talk about the actual concert.
Hey, guys, have y'all seen that Allure hat?
But, so, I took our mutual friend Roseanne to the 17 show.
And it's her first time, too.
It was her first time. It was her second time being exposed to 17. The first time was not a great experience.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into super detail about it because we have an episode coming up about like events and concerts and stuff like that. But I'll just say that there was some very inappropriate behavior at the live stream.
Yeah.
And we ended up actually leaving the live stream. And I remember being crushed because Roseanne literally said, I don't think I can get into this group if this is how the fandom is. Right.
And I've been hyping it up too, honestly.
Oh, yeah,
because,
exactly.
Yeah, I told you, they're fairly chill.
So I went to Roseanne. I was like, hey, I know you're not a big fan, but if I happen to get tickets for the San Antonio show, do you want to go with me? And she goes, yeah, sure. Because we usually will go to shows together. A lot of times it's because we don't have other K-pop friends here in town. So we'll go to shows. Like I've been to Stacy, I've been to the Viz, both of which are not my cup of tea. And Roseanne has gone to Eric Nam, Jungkook, and now 17.
Yeah.
And so I remember we get back from Chicago and I told Ann, I was like, I got to figure out how I'm going to do all these freebies because I had almost 300 for San Antonio. Plus I had hers. And Ann goes, put Roseanne to work.
Yeah, do a lucky draw.
And that's where we came up with this idea to do a blind box, a lucky draw, because
Yeah.
Roseanne is very much like me, that if there's too many members, she gets frustrated.
Yeah.
Because like me, she started out with like Blackpink, and and her groups like Blackpink, Stacey with Viz, and Dreamcatcher, which Dreamcatcher has a lot of members.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But even like She's a Fantasy, she's part of the SF9 fandom, and when she joined, 3 of the members were already enlisted, so she
so
only
it's
had to
easier.
learn 6.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Anne, okay, I'm gonna do a blind box because I don't want Roseanne to get frustrated with people being like, oh my god, can I have Johan? Can I have the 8? And especially because a lot of characters use their government names or they use nicknames.
Yeah, I know. And then it's like, why are you giving me 20 different names here?
I was like, oh my god, I have to do a blind box because I know Roseanne is going to whip around and look at me and be like, you said there were only 13 people. Who the hell is How? What's a Honey? What's a Ming How? What is going on?
Yeah. He's like, what the frick is a Jisoo? Jisoo's not in here. Jisoo's in Blackpink.
I've got a photo of the blind box. It's the most hodgepodge thing ever. I did end up having to put a warning label on it saying that everything is blind, 1 per carat, and that Wonwoo had been adopted in Chicago because I was taking reservations for them between both of our freebies, and we did have a couple of carrots who were getting a little greedy with them.
Yeah.
But that aside, Roseanne had the time of her life handing out freebies. I was just going down the line handing out these freebies, getting everyone being like, oh my god, thank you. A couple of people like, oh my god, you're horrible. Why would you do this to us? But thank you.
But with love.
With love, yeah. And I was like, oh, and by the way, my friend back here has a blind box. Woo, Roseanne was hounded immediately. She ran out of freebies long before I did. And
yeah, you were texting me. You're like, hey, we just got here. We're going to start handing out freebies. I was like, oh my god, have so much fun. Like, I just, in general, say have so much fun, like thinking you won't text me, like, until after the concert. No, within 2 minutes, you're like, yo, your freebies are gone. And I'm like, huh?
Yep.
What? What do you mean my freebies are gone? Someone stole them?
No, and it was really kind of cool because I put on the box that we encourage trading because we only had 12 of the members because everybody had been, because Wonwoo had been adopted already. Yeah. And it kind of created a mini community of people trading the Buggy's piece.
That's so cute. I love that. And I mean, that's literally what people did when I went to this cup sleeve that I did before the concert week. I also did the Bucky PC freebie, but I did as a lucky draw, and it did cost $1. So I was kind of making money back. Not really. It was just like very cheap, very easy. I did a deal where it's like if you pay 5, you get 6 or something like that. I did some like really cheap deal. And in the end, everyone who was there, they were having the time of their life trading. They're like, who has a Woozy? Who has a Wonwoo? Give me that Joshua! I was just like, oh my god, it's so much fun. And I love how just trading like that, even with freebies, just creates this wonderful community over it.
Oh, 100%. And I remember after the concert, so for the record, at the time of recording, it is currently the 9th of November. I just put away all my freebies from both shows yesterday.
That's a lot.
I've been busy, girl. Like I've been working nonstop since we got back into town.
I know, but still, I mean, no, but think about it. We did get a lot of freebies in Chicago. I was curious how many freebies you got in San Antonio then.
I want to say I got about 3/4 as much as we got in Chicago.
That's still a good amount.
It is a good amount. I will say this is the only negative thing that I'm going to say this episode. There were a lot of issues as far as freebies with the San Antonio community. We had a lot of people who were trade only. A lot of people who, if they didn't like what you were trading, they wouldn't give it to you. And there were a lot of people only handing them out to specific people. I'm not going to go into detail about that. We'll talk about that during the concert etiquette video.
Okay.
But it was not the same. I remember, and it's really sad because I remember in Chicago, we met up with the group afterwards again because a lot of us still had reservations.
Yeah.
And I remember going up to people and handing them, I'm like, oh, did you get one of my photo cards? Did you get one of my photo cards? And there were so many characters that are like, oh, but I don't have anything else. I already ran out. And I'm like, no, I'm not looking to trade. trading was not the intended purpose when I made these photo cards.
For you at least, it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know people were doing trades until you added me to the group. Well, proxied me for the group because I don't have a Facebook.
Right.
But outside of that, it was such a great experience as far as trading freebies went.
Yeah. I mean, but also funny story how literally Chicago was supposed to be your first 17 concert, and literally 2 days later you said, I'm gonna buy tickets to the San Antonio one. And I went,
yeah.
You're gonna do what now?
Yeah. And it's so wild because I tell people who hear my story, that 17 made their way into my top 5 groups. They actually dethroned Stray Kids. Nothing against Stray Kids. I still love Stray Kids. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as I've joked before, my brain only has enough space for like 5 groups, which of course is not 100% true because I don't know if you guys can see my shelves in the video, but of course I have more than 5 groups.
Yeah.
But for me, it's of course Monsta X and Red Velvet share number 1. Technically it's 6 groups, but my 2 ults share one spot. And then it's, let me look, brain dead. It's Astro, SF9, Mamamoo, and then 17. And it's real. And this last month is really a testament to how 17 has taken over my life, positively, so to speak, because this is the first time I've made freebies. I gave out freebies at Stray Kids, but they were official photo cards. It's the first time I've actually made them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've made an outfit, and this is the first time that I've had the pleasure and opportunity to see a show twice.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. My bank account regrets it, but I personally don't regret it.
It's okay. You can make it back. Just more hours, baby. Yeah. So even though Kevin said he was going to buy, your plane ticket, right, to get to Chicago for the 17 concert, we were looking at flights because I wanted to make sure you're okay with the times that Kevin was buying for you before, we purchase it and give it to you, all that stuff. You even were like, you know what? I think I want to fly into DFW for a little bit, spend time with, your mom and all these things.
Oh yeah, because you were trying to figure out this complicated system of how we could make sure to leave at the same time. We didn't have a 4-hour layover before we met each other, and I was like, "Girl, I'll just fly to DFW for the weekend. It's going to cost me like $40. It's not a big deal."
It was really cheap too, and I was just like, if you want to, go for it. If you can take the time off, go for it. But I think you were already off technically anyway because you don't usually work the weekends.
Yeah, that's true. So it was I literally just took off Monday and Tuesday, but I was like, I'm already going to be off Saturday and Sunday. I might as well come in.
Yeah, right. Take advantage of it too, which was great because you came to the restaurant to eat with your mom and your sister. So that was nice. And then
so much good food.
And then Kevin, my husband, is a true Asian of grabbing all the freebies he can. And I think he even put it in our work group chat where he was saying how like, oh, I'm going to go to the TCU campus for a bit. And I was like, why are you going to the TCU campus, which is the college that our restaurant had to be nearby, like a few miles down or whatever? And I was like, where are you going there? Like, was there a delivery from like the sorority girls, fraternity boys? Like, what's going on? And he was like, oh no, they're giving out these free Stripe snacks. and then the moment that TJ and his family got there, Kevin's like, y'all want snacks? You love snacks, right? You like tahini? I got you tahini. And he like grabbed boxes. Like freeze-dried pineapples.
It's so funny because I like how you said it like a true Asian. It reminded me so much of your parents because anytime it was very rare that me and your parents would cross paths because your parents were working all the time.
Yeah.
But if I remember your mother always scolding you, being like, why is there no fruit on the table? And you always explained, well, TJ doesn't really like fruit. And she was like, that's not an excuse. And she would go and wash fruit, cut it, and put it on the table, which I discovered at that point that washing your stuff in salt water, oh my God, that changes the whole perspective of it.
Mm-hmm. Give it a little bit like savory thing to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that also kind of like reminded me of your parents of like, here's all this fruit, even though it was 4 cases.
Yeah. I mean, did you even bring it along with you?
1. I brought 1 back.
One back.
I gave the other 3.
Kevin was asking.
My mom and my sister loved them, so I gave them 3 of them. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
not that the cases were big. Once you add 4 together, that's half my suitcase.
Yeah, that is very true. I think he forgot that you were actually traveling.
Which we appreciated it, Kevin. Don't get us wrong.
Mm-hmm. But that is my man. He's very giving. But anyways, yeah, so you flew in and then Monday morning went to get you, went to the airport, which luckily we live so close to the airport in our area. Like I live without traffic. It'll probably take me 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
So super easy. We got there. We got a little bit of breakfast. I gave TJ his huge craving of the Vietnamese iced coffee.
So good.
So good.
It's so good. And you had been talking about it since we got back from LA because we had the Vietnamese coffee at Net Cafe, which still is the best one that I've had. No disrespect to 85 Degrees or the place that we went to in at the airport.
Yeah.
But oh my God, it was so good.
So good. Hits different. It hits different. But yeah, got there. And then luckily we got to board the plane. No issues. Even through like security, there was no issues whatsoever. Everything was perfectly fine. And then we got to Chicago, and as we mentioned, one of our good friends, Ashley, she decided to be our Uber for the weekend, or for the week, not the weekend. I think it was the weekend because I'm off, but
for 2 days. What she's trying to say is for the 2 days we were in Chicago, the 36 hours, she was our Uber.
Yeah, pretty much. And super grateful for her, and I'm so glad the timing worked out too, because it saved us a ton of money, honestly. And the traffic there was so bad, but it was just nice to hang out with her, catch up with her, and everything. So
yeah, because I hadn't seen her since your wedding, so
yeah. So props to Ashley for being our Uber. You're the greatest, and just enabling our K-pop needs.
which I think we do need to mention that out of our group, there's only, I think, 5 of us who are actually K-pop fans. Everyone else is not. And Ashley could not be further from being a K-pop fan.
Oh, dude.
Ashley is very much punk, grunge, new metal.
Like Metallica, that sort of thing. Oh, yeah.
Which, now discussing it, maybe we should introduce her to BAP and Dreamcatcher.
That'd be kind of funny,
that might be her thing.
That might be her thing.
But she messaged me a couple of hours later once Anne left, because I left Chicago way before the girls did.
Yeah.
And she messaged me. She was, oh my God, I had so much fun. I'm not a K-pop fan, but it was so much fun getting to watch you guys get ready. And she demanded that we put on 17 as we drove to the concert.
Oh, yeah, and definitely.
She had a blast from an outsider's perspective. I'm sure in her mind we looked like a bunch of fools, but she still had fun.
Oh, yeah, no. She's also kind of the enabler of the group too, right? Yeah, so she was all in for it. Like you said, like when we were heading towards the concert, she was just like, hey, put out some 17, so you guys can like hype up before the concert. She was there when we did the recording for the Magic Hour documentary. Heck, she even like helped us out like getting ready. She was like, you want to take some photos? I'll take photos for you, all these things.
She was the mom on prom night. That's 100% what she was.
Literally was. I love Ashley so much.
And then the kiddo wanted us to do that PC flipping thing every time we went to a restaurant or we ate. And Ashley was like, no, get in there. I'll take the video. I'll do it. Oh, is this okay? Oh, no, let's do it again. I don't like that one. She was 100% the mom on prom night.
Oh, my God. And I love her for that. She was so into it. But yeah, we got there. We landed in Chicago. And luckily, I think it was Pledis that announced how like they'll have an extra day where they'll be selling merch on Monday, and the concert days was Tuesday and Wednesday. So we got to get to the merch early because the airport had to be close to the Allstate Arena. So it was like a 10-minute drive, maybe. It was really, really close.
Oh yeah, it was literally in between the airport and Airbnb.
And so we got there. There was no lines. They still had a lot of merch on there, except for, I believe it was the
albums were sold out.
Oh, albums were sold out. Well, I wasn't even aiming for the albums. I wouldn't even know. But we were aiming for their postcard set, which is what Lily wanted, but couldn't get that. They said they were out of that. But I mean, the Allstate employees, I don't know if this is the Allstate employees or if it's just someone they hired for merch only. I don't know how that whole process worked. But I love the lady who checked us out because I was saying, oh, can I get this shirt in this size? Can I get this hoodie in this size and whatever else? And I was like, oh, and I want those fans that's right behind you. And she's like, great, which one? And I said, Dino, because that's easy, right? She's like, okay, great. And she asked for the Dino and the other lady grabbed it for her. And I said, oh, and I want Johan. And she's like, the who? And I was like, the guy with the J that's not Joshua. So funny because I can hear her going, who is Johan? And I said, oh, it's that guy right there, like third from the left or something like that, because they had the pickets up too, so you can see their faces. So it's easier to kind of point and be like, oh, the fifth person, or oh, the blonde one, whatever, right? And then so the girl who picked up, the merch for her, for the cashier, she brought it over and she's like, say his name again. And I was like, Johan? Oh, that's the hell I was saying before. And she just
welcome to Wonderful Beauty. We teach you something all the time.
So she was like, that's not the fuck I was saying. Oh my god, it was so great. But yeah, then we did that. Went to our no. We went to H Mart, which by the way, right. That H Mart, it's like a whole freaking mall. Have you noticed that? But I was surprised how big this H Mart was. But yeah, we were there. We got the soju, we got the snacks. We discovered that cinnamon bun Oreos are the best thing ever.
Oh my god, those are so good. Insert Homer going. Yeah, and then so you and the kiddo played gotcha games for like half an hour.
I'm a trinkets girl. I mean, but also it's just like me and Lily's and Kevin's thing. If we see a gotcha store, machine, whatever, automatically you just have to try and get some. That's literally what I did because most of the DFW's boba shops now, they all have those like cream machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's becoming a thing. And funny enough, and of course, Kevin knows the guy who runs it.
Of course he does. Kevin knows everybody.
But yeah, no, it's really funny because we saw it at Happy Lemon in Fort Worth. And we were there with some friends. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. They have this like little crane machine. I was trying to play with one of like Kevin's best friend. I was like, I'm going to win Kevin this prize. And he was like, no, I'm going to win Kevin this prize. And then Kevin kind of walked over and he looked at the name of it. And he was like, huh, it's so-and-so's. We're like, what? He was like, yeah, it's so-and-so's. And I was like, how do you know this guy? And literally, flat out, Kevin will tell me his whole life story. He's got a son. He's been doing this, but it was too much for him. He started crane business. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me.
That boy is too extroverted for my taste.
I know, right? I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me. He's like freaking Mingyu. Just makes friends with everyone in an instant. But anyways, get to the Airbnb. Was a little sketch, but but I mean, the place was nice and everything. It was just the stairs that we were having issues with.
Oh yeah, and I live on the second floor of my apartment, but those were some sketchy ass stairs.
It was very steep too,
and the lights disappeared halfway up.
Oh yeah, that's a little weird, a little scary. But yeah, then we just did most of the Chicago things too, because we weren't just there for, I mean, we were there for just 17, but I also wanted to take advantage with the, with Lily being there. And since Lily is currently a sophomore of high school, it's almost time for looking for colleges. So, and luckily the school in Chicago, the SAIC, is their top, one of the top 5s of the colleges they would like to go to. So might as well take advantage of it. So we did the college tour for that, and I almost had a meltdown, a midlife crisis. I don't know if TJ Ashley saw it, but I was definitely having a midlife crisis.
I did not catch it. I was so fascinated by the tour. Like, I'm not an artist in any form or fashion, at least in that artistic aspect.
Right.
And I remember being like, damn, I kind of want to go here. But I don't meet the qualifications whatsoever. But also, shout out to our friend Ashley. We need to get her skincare routine because somehow she got mistaken for the student, not Lily.
Oh, yeah. That is hilarious. Yeah, I know. She fits right in, honestly.
and she's 34 years old, just like Ann and I. So we got to get on whatever she's on.
But she also kind of has a baby face almost, though. Her face has not changed since middle school. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Must be nice.
I know. But yeah, and then we have Portillo's, we have Chicago deep dish pizza, drink some soju, of course, while we watch the Magic Hour, and then did the tour. Wanted to go to the Art Institute Museum, but sadly couldn't go to it because the only day we would have been able to go would be the Tuesday, but obviously already full, and they are closed on Tuesdays, but we did get free tickets, and they're good for a year. And I did hear the 17 boys did go to that one, so we missed that opportunity, but that is A-okay.
I bet that's why it was closed. I bet because they were there.
Oh, no. They went on a Monday. They went on a Monday. Tuesday they had to practice, man. They got a show to put. But then concert day happened, and oh my god. It was one of the best experiences I've had, especially since we've put more effort to it, if that makes sense. Because think about when we went to like Blackpink, when we went to Stray Kids, we kind of got into it. Red Velvet, and even like, KCON doesn't count either. But, Mamamoo. Yeah, Monster X, Mamamoo. Yeah, all those concerts. We didn't get super into it where we are doing outfits, where we were doing freebies. We didn't really have a plan. It was just more like we get dinner, then we go.
Right.
We get dinner in the nearby venues and go. Doing freebies, dressing up is, it's kind of an event of its own, and getting ready. And Ashley loved to be a part of that, all these other things. And then getting there and seeing everyone doing the same thing is really wonderful, I think. So that's why it became one of my top favorite like concert going experiences, right. I would say.
I can understand that, yeah. Mm-hmm. And everybody was so nice. And also shout out to the admin for letting us store our stuff in her car.
Oh my god, yes. Lisa, I love you. You're a lifesaver for me. And she was super sweet too. And yeah, she even hung out too afterwards. Because like TJ said before, we still had leftover freebies that we were reserving for the trades that we committed to. And she just hung out the whole time. And I was like, oh, do you have to go? Because I was rushing to get, our bags out of the trunk of her car. She's like, no, I'm going to stay a little later. We can keep trading. We can do whatever, hang out, that sort of thing. And I didn't know when Ashley was getting there because I tried to time it during the concert with their 5th encore. I was like, I think they're still singing, but they're kind of talking. Leave in about 30 minutes.
Right.
Literally, I was trying to time it, but yeah. So we just hung out with them, met so many wonderful carrots. And I've actually kind of accumulated these friendships over Facebook because I was in the group, right? I was selling the Carabon Islands. I was doing the trades, all these things. And just to see them in person, it just makes it feel more real, if that makes sense.
Right. I can totally understand that.
Yeah, because you have online friends and you can see their persona talking to them through text and everything, but seeing them in person and everything is a whole different level.
It's kind of funny because mostly what we've been talking about is this great community that we formed and met when we haven't even actually talked about the boys whatsoever yet.
I know, but I want to emphasize how great Carolyn is. All right, but let's talk about the boys. Oh no,
that concert was amazing. Oh my god! First off, they started right at 7:30. I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah, no, you were like, it's gonna take them 10 minutes. I was like, bitch, you think?
Well, every concert we've been to, there's always a delay because I'm assuming they're getting mic'd up and all that. But nope. Yeah. But no, the lights went down, and then their dancers came out, which I kind of like when they do that. Because Mamamoo, I believe, if I remember correctly, they did the same thing where they had the dancers came out, and then the screens were like Soar, Wasa, Moonbyul, Wien, and then the girls came out because these groups have such amazing backup dancers that they need to be showcased. I know you follow a couple of them on social media, actually.
Yeah, I followed them since not the Follow tour, but even the tour before that,
The Be the Sun?
I think it was during Be the Sun, because
Okay.
I remember seeing specifically one of the dancers going viral for something, and that's how I followed him. And then sometimes the members will also tag them, or it's like once like the dancer will take a photo with like the group, like their
Right.
after their performance, that sort of thing. They'll tag all the dancers too, and I'll be like, oh, okay, so this is where I can follow all the other dancers as well. So I've been following them for, I want to say, maybe a good couple of years now. I was super ecstatic to hear that they were going to tour with them. Like, not just, in Korea, Japan, Asian stops, right? For them to come to America, it was super exciting. I got reshared by one of them. I was like, yes! He's one that was in the frog suit.
Oh, okay. I just remember
us dumb it down.
I just remember us landing in Chicago, and we're doing all of our little errands and stuff, and you squealing, and I'm like, we kind of look at you, and you go, my favorite backup dancer just landed, and I'm like, oh wow, she's really into this.
They keep sharing their stories, and then I'll be like, oh look, they're over here in Chicago. Oh look, they're over here in San Antonio. Like, I'm a stalker for them. It sounds terrible, actually.
But it's funny because we were talking about, oh my God, we're so close, we're so close, we're so close.
Oh, yeah.
We did not realize exactly how close we were until right before the boys came out and the pyrotechnics went off, and we were like, oh, okay, it's kind of hot where we are.
I know. I think we had to like take off our jackets.
Yeah, we were both like, and I will say, now, granted, I wouldn't have chosen Fearless as my opening one. My two favorite openings are Hot and Clap. Mm-hmm. But as a Wonwoo stan, to literally have my man start off the concert, oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, I think it was great. And I know people who have seen the live stream for the Goyang tour, and also probably the ones who've seen the fan cams of it for the Fear opening. When they did the one where Johan was supposed to sing, but it was like the angel wings that came out and everything went deathly quiet and could hear the whisper of his voice, that actually gave me chills. And I'm pretty sure Lily cried.
That poor kid, let me just say, between the tears and the screaming, I don't know how they stayed hydrated and were up the next day.
Oh, yeah, no, they bounced back up. They was like, great, are we flying out tonight? Are we getting dim sum? Awesome. I was just like, the freak?
The power of youth.
And the power of youth, I know, right? They got 18 years on us.
But it was a lot of fun. Like, I've seen concerts where, in the middle they will do their solos and stuff like that, but this is the first time I've seen a subunit.
Yeah.
And even though I stan 3/4 of the hip hop unit, I'm not the biggest fan of their songs. I blame Game Boy for that. But oh my God, Water was so good. Like, I liked it before going in, but watching them do it live, oh my God, that was such a good song.
It hits different. And I want to give a little bit of credit, though, to the backup dancers. Because they work wonderfully well. Because you know how the hip-hop unit, they don't usually dance as much? Because they're rapping, they're doing their thing, charismatic, all these things. But the backup dancers, the way they're lined up and then dancing around them, like when they did like the bouncing in front of, I believe, Vernon or Mingyu, it looks like it's water waves.
Yeah,
that's why I liked about the artistry of the backup dancers. And
I guess since we're on the hip hop unit, I guess I should share your dirty laundry a little bit.
What?
What? Oh, you think I was the only one who's gonna get picked on?
What?
Dino and Joshua, if you're listening, someone got bias wrecked by S-Coops.
Oh my God, S-Coops! Because of his facial expressions. I have mentioned so many times. He is so good at how he does his facial expressions. And that's why I got wrecked by Mingy of 80s. Because of facial expressions. No. Dino is still so good, I swear, I promise.
And it was actually really fun for me because not with the hip hop unit, but next was the performance unit. No,
Yeah,
Performance unit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I had just become a Dino bias wrecker.
Yeah.
Which, tying back to Anne being the enabler friend,
Yep.
we basically have Dino wars where we send Dino reels and pictures back and forth between each other.
Yes.
And it's funny because every time I see something, the first thing I look on Instagram is to see if it says liked by, and I'm like, oh, she's already seen this one. Never mind. Dino, it was really cool because Dino became, during those performances, ended up being the focal point, which you would think it would be Hoshi since he's the leader. But that boy was on that screen so much. Which I have to also mention, I remember mentioning to Anne, I was getting confused on where to look because I'm so used to, not that we ever really have terrible seats, because Anne and I are always we're always like, oh, let's splurge a little bit, get better seats. But I'm so used to looking up at the screens that I kept having to be like, oh, wait, they're right there. I can see them.
Yeah, they're literally right there. I mean, I wouldn't say they're so close. They're like literally right in front of your face, but it's where you're not having to squint your eyes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're not having to be like, I see a little bit. No. It's like full on. They are right there in front of you. You can see them. You can see all of them dancing, performing. You can see their facial expressions clearly. So that was really cool.
It was so good. I will say a big surprise for me. Big enough surprise that I literally prepared Rosie for this was the fact that they changed the encore. We were so prepared for 18 Aju Nices because that's what Korea got.
Yeah.
And I remember looking over and you're like, is that 4? Is that 5? What number are we on? And then all of a sudden it turned into Snap Shoot. And we're like, wait,
the heck?
What?
And then they play Holiday. And I'm like, yes!
And then Holiday. And we were just like, wait, which... Not that I'm not disappointed because, I expected Aju Nice, but I am so happy that we got to see them do that stupid holiday dance. It is the stupidest dance I've ever seen.
And I love it.
They were having an absolute ball with it because that's one of the things that I see when I hear that song. It's the same thing with Snap Shoot. Anytime I hear Snap Shoot, all I picture is Hoshi with that dumb look on his face spinning his carrot bong.
Yeah.
That's all I see.
Again, I mean, these boys, though, when it comes down to it, they love to be funny. They love to make people laugh and all these things. And they're just enjoying themselves, honestly. You can see, I think the best example I can give to it is maybe, I'm going to go back to Monster X. Obviously, I don't know Monster X as much personality-wise, like their deep dive story, that sort of thing, and how they usually interact with one another. But I can tell from 17 literally kind of letting loose, whereas Monster X, while they are also letting loose, there's still like a tinge of like professionalism in it during their encore. It's the best way I can put it.
I would say is that 17 is 13 Jew honeys doing Aigu. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to, really.
I mean, that's true, though.
It is. But Chicago was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I loved the city. And it was really cool to not only, we were day one of the show, but they didn't disappoint. Because I remember, like you mentioned, in 80s, when you took Annie to go see Blackpink, it wasn't bad. It was just not what you were expecting, especially since you've already seen them. And you were like, we were the first stop. It was day one, so they're probably trying to figure out some kinks. We didn't have that problem in Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but I do sense I'm probably gonna overstep boundaries here. Step on your toes a little bit. So when they were starting performing in like New York, Oakland, San Antonio, sort of things, they started changing up more stuff, and then they were seeing more songs. You were slightly disappointed by it, whereas me, I was thinking professionally, right? Like, well, we were the first day. They were just trying to run through, but at least they still had fun. They were still able to let loose. But I think it's only because of what Carrots did at Reefers right after that concert. And I hated how the boys kind of responded to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're like,
no, I agree with you.
Yeah, because they're like, where's Hot? Where's anyone? Where's like the list is long and long and long. I'm just like, y'all can't expect this because they had a set list in Korea. They're going to transfer it over for the rest of this world tour. They're not going to adjust this, but then they did like tiny clips of it, which I do love watching it. You know, they did Cheers, they did Hot, they did Kidult. They did a bunch of different ones, but in the end, all I can see is them trying to please everyone.
Right. And I would like to preface that I wasn't really disappointed. I had a
Mhm.
blast. I loved everything that they did.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think going in, there was only one song that I didn't really know that well.
Mhm.
I just wish, no, I'm not even, let me rephrase it. I was jealous that Oakland got killed. Just
Yeah.
because it's such an important song to us. But no, I'm 100% with you that that behavior was not okay.
Yeah.
And it was even less okay that that the boys literally had to go online and Mingyu literally had to say, "Please just enjoy the songs."
Yeah, I'm just like, they worked hard on this. It's not like they took off Hot because, you know, they don't want to perform Hot anymore. It's probably because they have an idea of what they want their set list to be for this tour, and they want to make it different, you know?
Right.
The
And
fact they added like Ash in, Fear in, that's good enough for me because those are like the underground hits, you know? So
yeah. And like for example, like you and the kiddo were obsessed with Spell when 17 is Right Here came out.
yeah.
But you guys were way more excited when they played the song that they did play instead.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, that was like the early day albums. For them to bring that out of the vault, I mean, we're still ecstatic, you know, but sad that they don't perform Spell, but that's totally fine. We got other great songs.
Exactly. And like, as a side tangent, real quickly, before we get into the San Antonio show, it's not okay for people to go online and bully idols like that. These guys don't owe you anything. Like at the end of the day,
your friends.
yeah. And even if they were, I mean, it's not even mean, but it's like at the end of the day, they're doing a job. And even if like you do have personal connection with them and whatnot, that doesn't mean that at the end of the day they owe you something. And you also have to remember that each section of the set list had a theme.
They did, yeah.
So literally, we had Fearless, Fear, Ash, and then we had the subunits. And honestly, with the way that the performance unit was doing, because they had that dystopia kind of theme going around, Spell wouldn't have fit into it.
I wouldn't think so either. Like they had Maestro in it, that fits in really well as well. So it's just like you gotta get into the idea of like what these artists are trying to portray with each concept of the concert tour. So it's like, yeah,
they're not gonna play your personal playlist at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I think that was like the biggest issue I had. I mean, concert was still great. I enjoyed every single second of it, but
let's talk about the San Antonio show. I'm going to keep it really short because you weren't there, so you're just gonna. I don't want you just to listen to me talk for 10 hours.
I love to hear it because I love to hear how much you enjoyed it just as much as Chicago.
So going into it again, I brought a friend who had never been to Carrotland, and Rose and I have very similar and conflicting personalities as far as K-pop goes. We both love Red Velvet. We both love SF9, Monsta X, things like that. But she does tend to do more of the bubblegum pop stuff, like Stacey, Eva Viz, stuff like that. So she was going in blind, literally, except for the 10 minutes we stayed for the follow live stream. She had no idea what was going on. She knew a couple of songs. I'm not going to say she was completely blind, but she had the time of her life, absolute time of her life. I was kind of telling her things in between sets just because, again, she didn't know the members. Literally all she knew was that WooG is the shortest male K-pop idol at 5'5". That's all she knew going in, because I told her before.
Yeah.
I will say, and I apologize to you, Roseanne, I completely forgot to tell her about the Tiger Cult. Completely forgot to tell her. Yes.
Oh, no.
I mean, I forgot how blind she was going in, and I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but Hoshi has his own special introduction. And this poor girl is looking back and forth like, why is the music getting all dark? What's going on? Why are we... Oh, it was so... I was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot to tell you about that.
Oh
But which I should have, because that's such a big part of our Carrotland culture is
no.
Hoshi's entire thing with tigers. Which
Yeah.
I didn't explain to her about the hamster thing either, but I guess it didn't come up, so that'll be another
Mhm.
lesson for another time.
Mhm.
But she had a blast. She was still getting members mixed up.
Mhm.
Um,
Which is
I remember
fair.
oh yeah, especially going in blind. I remember I got her the picket that had everyone on it, which one of the ladies at Chicago very lovingly referred to as the graduation photo.
Aww.
She literally was. She was yelling at one of the girls, being like, "Hey, get me the graduation picket."
I
Um,
love that.
because she didn't have a light stick and she was going to spend the money on it, but she's like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe not. That's kind of a waste of $70 if I don't like them." So I got her so she could have something to wave around.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, while she's handing out, I was like, "Yeah, this is my friend Rose. She's a baby carrot. This is her first time introducing."
Yeah.
Which these carrots were like, "Okay, so who's your bias?" And I said, "Girl, what did I just say? She doesn't know anything." And she was like, I don't know. There was that one on there that was really cute.
The cute one.
But which turned out to be Joshua.
Mhm. Yes.
Because we went back to the car and she was like, "Oh, it was that one." I was like, "Oh, that's
Okay.
Joshua. He's the LA boy." Which
Mhm.
at the time of recording, congratulations, Joshua, on your certificate for the city of LA. We watched it live and we supported you.
Oh yeah.
Got very emotional.
Yeah. Cried a little at work. That was terrible.
Yeah. I was luckily at home. I had the day off, so I got to cry in private without the cats judging me. But she had a blast. We had some negative experiences before, but I'm not going to get into that right now. My whole thing was I want Roseanne to have fun because this is making up for the last time I tried to introduce her. And she had so much fun. We were leaving the show and we accidentally left before the encore was over because my dumb self forgot, oh my God, they do fake outs. Oh my God, that's right. And they did. They opened the screen. They went, they're like, bye, bye. And as soon as we left, we hear, "Aju, nice." And Rose was like, "What? What?" And she like ran to the curtain. She was trying to peek in. And I think they did that, stop shooting Holiday, but we were like, you know what, let's beat the traffic.
Yeah.
Roseanne doesn't like driving at night very much, but we were going down the escalator. And so at the Frost Bank Center is where the Spurs play.
Yeah.
And they have their own fan shop like you would expect, like at a Cowboys game and stuff like that. And I saw that they had a merch stand. I was like, let me go see what's left. Because I was trying to get the San Antonio stuff, which unfortunately I was not able to get anything from San Antonio.
Totally fine.
And Roseanne was like, "Hey, do you think Hello 82 would have the tour shirts? Because they have the Stacy one." Because Roseanne was not able to get a Stacy shirt. They were sold out before we got there. Which again, shout out to Hello 82. You've been mentioned, I think, in every video at this point.
Oh no. We love them.
And I was like, no, unfortunately, they don't work with Pledis and Hybe. They only work with certain people, which I think it's, since they work with Weverse, that's why Hello 82 doesn't work with them. But I don't know the logistics of it.
Well, here's a weird thing, because right now, currently, Hello 82 is doing the Tomorrow Together. And Tomorrow Together is under
that's right.
Hybe.
They're under Hybe.
Yeah.
So
it has to be certain groups. So I'm pretty sure they work out a contract of some sort with the company. So that's what I assume. That's what I assume.
But I remember telling her, I was like, "Oh no, unfortunately I don't think they work with Pledis. I've never seen them. They only do certain groups." She was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And I was like, "Hey, I had money left over from Chicago. I was like, if you want a shirt, I'll go ahead and buy you one. Like, you can pay me back, not a big deal." No, it's okay. And I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." Out. So I went to the guy. He was super nice. I was like, "Do you have any of the San Antonio shirts?" He goes, "No, unfortunately, we're sold out." It's like, "Okay, that's cool. No worries. Have a good night." And I turn around and Roseanne's like looking at all the shirts, all the merch. And for reference, Roseanne is 5'1", 5'2". I literally ended up like grabbing her and like pushing her forward. I'm like, "Please get this young lady whatever she wants."
Oh.
And she was like, no, you don't have to. I was like, "Get the shirt."
That's when you know it's real.
Yeah. And the first thing I did, we got back in the car. The first thing I did is I called Ann. And I know you were watching some 17 thing because you tagged me on Instagram. You're like, "Oh my God, enjoy the show. I'll watch Dino from home."
Yeah.
And I remember it was ringing for a while. And Roseanne was like, "Oh, she's not going to pick up." I said, if I'm being 100% honest, she's probably looking at her phone with her glass of wine going, why the hell is he calling me?
Yeah, because usually you don't directly call me unless, we're on a trip and we like separate our ways, like in Disney World, right? Then you call, be like, hey, where are you at? Or there's some dire emergency and I'm thinking, the concert's still going. They're on their 10th encore.
Yeah.
Is there an emergency?
So Anne picks up going, yeah. And I'm like, hey, we just finished. And guess what? What? I was like, I brought in a new carrot. We have a new carrot. Which is so funny. God. Again, going back to my origin story. I said, and not only that, she has a bias and a bias wrecker. And I can hear Anne drop her phone going, what? What? Who? What are we doing? And I was like, so her bias is Joshua. And of course, Anne is a static because that was her original bias. And then and her bias wrecker is the 8. And loses it. I said, I told you, Rosie. I told you she's going to be all excited because you chose one of the Chinese unit members.
You really did.
And all of a sudden, all I'm hearing is pages flipping. And I'm like, are you going through your binder right now? And she's like, no. And then the kiddo comes in and goes, guess what? And of course, the kiddo sounds like they just woke up from a nap. What? Remember Roseanne? Yeah. Well, she just got back from the 17 concert, and she's a carrot. And all you hear in the most monotone voice ever is, as it should be.
The sassiness. Oh my God. And then I even went like, oh, and then they have their bias and bias wrecker. Okay. Well, it's Joshua. And the bias wrecker is the 8. As she should.
And then I could hear the kid walking away. I was like, all right, we got approval from the Carrot Land God. We're good now.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that y'all had so much fun and that this concert kind of turned around her perspective of how Carrot Land is supposed to be and not that horrendous thing that happened during the live stream. So
yeah, no, I was too. That was my biggest worry going in. I was like, God forbid if she's bored or she just isn't into it.
Right.
But she was so excited. Like when from the opening and then, of course, and she recognizes a couple of songs.
Right. Yeah.
Because I remember Maestro came on and she was like, oh, this kind of sounds familiar. And then God of Music came on and she goes, wait, why does this sound familiar? And then the chorus came up. She goes, oh my God, it's that song that you love.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, she had Water. She loved Water. Water and
oh my God. It's the
Monster.
Korean Fiend.
Water and Monster, she had a blast with those, which makes sense because Rose is very big into hip hop, so it would make sense that she would vibe with those sections.
Yeah, and I was kind of jealous y'all got to see that on Halloween night because I was like, you guys get the Monster song on Halloween? How iconic was that? Like, seriously.
It was really cool, and it was really cool to see all the people in costumes. Apparently, some girl scared Mingyu because she was dressed up as like a evil Harlequin or something, and just like stared at him, and he was like, "What?
Oh no! Poor baby."
Yeah, but as you guys know, I mean, Mingyu was scared of his own shadow, so
I know, right? But I'm glad that they had so much fun because it seemed like from the fan camps I saw on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, they had a lot of fun during the Halloween show because people came in costumes, not just, the outfits inspired by 17 or anything like that. So that was really, really cool. I think they enjoyed seeing like, oh, this person's dressed up as so-and-so and whatever. So
yeah, no, 100%. It was great. We had such a fun time.
Isn't this the show that DK ripped his pants?
Yes. And I knew you were going to bring up DK because I knew you were going to try to get revenge for S-Coops.
Yes.
So yes, this is the show where DK ripped his pants. Which was really funny because he was having DK time. And I was trying to focus on the show, but I was texting Anne some changes. And I was like, oh my God, we got Dino time. And she was like, wait, that's not fair. Why do you get Dino time and we don't get Dino time?
Right, yeah.
And bless the interpreter. I don't know if it was the same girl from Chicago, but with how fast some of the members talk, especially Mingyu, there was a lot of overlap. So I couldn't really figure out
the same one. I think it's the same translator.
But I couldn't figure out what was being said because Mingyu's talking so fast and she's trying to talk so fast. And at one point she literally says, oh, we just love our interpreter. And they all ended up laughing because she was trying so hard.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm counting. I'm like, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was like, wait, hold on. And
We're missing one.
Like this. And I leaned over. I said, DK's missing. And she goes, I wonder why. And then I hear Mingyu going, oh no, it was Sungkwan going, DK, are you okay? And all you hear is the tiniest, cutest little yes from under the stage. And I was like, and then Mingyu was like, post on Instagram, X, TikTok.
Everywhere.
And I was like, oh. And I looked at Roseanne, I was like, oh my God, DK busted his pants open. She goes, are you joking? I was like, no, and it's not the first time it's happened either.
It was so funny too, because I think I texted you maybe a few minutes after it happened, because I was like, because it came right on TikTok when I was scrolling through, and I was like, why did DK, because I didn't see the part where it was DK time. I saw the part where he was kind of looking down because he realized his pants ripped. And that's when Hoshi and Dino was like trying to push him back, backstage or go underground the stage to get that fixed. So I was like, did he rip his pants? So I texted you and I was like, he ripped his pants? And you're like, yeah, during DK time. And I was like, how did he rip his pants? And I saw the TikTok of him literally like Mario high jumping it. I was like, that's why. I
literally get a text 30 seconds later being like, why is he jumping so high? What is wrong with him? But I will say, and it's not from him ripping his pants, but I don't know if bias wrecked is the technical term, because he didn't become a bias wrecker. Because like I said, I have 2 biases, Wanwoo and Vernon, and then I have 2.5 bias wreckers. So for those who may not have heard, my bias wreckers are Mingyu and now Dino. My 0.5 has always been DK. Like, yeah, he's there. I really like him. He's so talented, but I don't want to collect him. And it's funny because right before the show, Anne was like, I'm really surprised that you don't collect DK. And I said the same thing as, these are my reasons why I just don't have, I've got too much.
Yeah.
DK, actually, no. Let me issue a formal apology.
Oh, no.
Shui Vernon, I am so sorry. You have been my number 2 bias since I got into Carrot Land. You and Wanwoo have been my top. I am very, very sorry, but unfortunately, DK moved you to the bias wrecker bench. I still love you. You had that prepared this whole time, didn't you?
Well, let's be honest. Kevin does like Vernon too. That is his bias in 17. I have a bunch of like Vernon stuff here, so I just grabbed for it.
She had this prepared. Don't let her lie to you. And it wasn't because he ripped his pants, and it also has nothing to do with his new magazine coming out. He had so much fun at the San Antonio show. Which he has fun at all of his shows, but he was having so much fun with his high-pitched yeehaws, and even after ripping his pants, he came out and he was laughing about it, having such a great time.
Yeah.
And it's been rough, you guys. Because now I'm catching up on media, and yes, he has his Allure magazine coming out, which is not helping.
Yeah.
But like, I remember watching, I went to go watch the late night performance that they did, and I took a screenshot and I sent it to Anne, and it is literally DK in a navy blue t-shirt and khakis. And I'm like, he's in khakis and a t-shirt. Why does he look so good? This does not make sense.
I literally sent the emoji going,
Yeah. So again, Vernon, I'm so sorry. I still love you. We still are Vernon stands here. Really, S-Coops? You want to talk right now, S-Coops? Really? You want to talk? Every time this woman goes to a 17 show, she comes out with a new bias. Do not come for me right now.
If y'all were at the Be the Sun tour, Fort Worth, Dino's back. Dino's back.
Yeah. And she went in as a Joshua bias.
Yeah, I did. And I was gone.
But no, I still love Vernon. Don't get me wrong. He's right here.
Yee.
I still made sure to steal one from the box before I did the blind watch.
Good.
There's something infectious about DK. And he's, like I said, he's always been on my list. But again, I'm very sorry, Vernon, and I have a feeling at some point this is going to end up on Weverse, and this is going to become a meme.
Oh
But
no, that'd be
we
terrible.
we stand Vernon here. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
To the point where I literally told Anne when she took my trade binder for the cup sleeve event that she worked, I am not sending any Vernon because I know that Kevin will snatch it.
Yeah, he definitely would. He definitely would.
So again, don't get me wrong. I still love you, Vernon, but DK just moved a little higher on the list than you.
I think it's just DK's like infectious like personality. Just always smiling, always laughing, always having a great time, honestly. That's why he's like named as like the sunshine, of the group. So
right.
I think that's
and it also
reason.
doesn't help that so I became a DK bias at the San Antonio show. One of the things that definitely helped was I actually, because I had quite a long flight from Chicago back to San Antonio, I had a layover in DFW and all that, is I took it upon myself to actually watch the Nana Tour, which I'm still in the process of working on. And DK was that entire show could have just been him.
Oh yeah, easily.
Between them waking him up and them singing left and right to him and him being so confused, especially because he's the one who drew the paper that said youth over flowers, and so he was super excited. To him and Wanwu playing the whisper game and them sucking so bad at it. What is with you in Budapest, DK? Like, what is with you in Budapest?
He loves that Budapest.
To him and Vernon being all cute together while eating the eggs because of DK, Vernon lost instantly, and he felt so bad. But
have you seen the talent show of the Nana Tour yet?
I haven't made it there yet. I have not seen Salute yet. I have not.
Yeah, you're gonna be on a roller coaster of emotions. You're gonna be laughing till you cry, and then you're really gonna cry. So prepare tissues.
I will. That's actually my plan for the rest of the day. After I do this, I need to do laundry, so I will be watching the Nana Tour to finish up.
Nice. I'm gonna get play-by-play.
Oh, she will. Which, small little shout out to two of the girls that we met as soon as we got into the arena who were dressed up as DK Salute. Oh my god, the kiddo had such a great time with that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think anyone who was there at the Chicago stop brought a little something that made it so like memory worthy. Yeah, so from the girl that did the DK Salute, I saw the trio of girls that did the Cheers one with the hats that's like has little diamonds dangling down from that too.
I saw some of those in San Antonio too.
Yeah, so there was that too, and the guy with the Mingyu American flag. We salute you, sir. We met Mingyu
flag guy. Mingyu flag guy. Oh my god, it was so great.
It was so great because I think we first saw on TikTok, and I was like, "That's hilarious!" Like I made a note, like just like, "Oh, that's kind of hilarious. It'd be really fun if we happen to see in person." And then Lily, as a joke, said, "If I see it, right, I'm gonna just salute to it because Mingyu had his like biceps out and everything." And the moment we saw this guy, Lily went, "I'm gonna say the Pledge of Allegiance," in the middle of the parking lot.
This kiddo literally came up with their own Pledge of Allegiance to the Mingyu flag under the United States of Johan.
Yeah, pretty much. Instead of like it's under God, it's under 17. It's just like you have got to be kidding me. I think there was another one too that was. It was during the San Antonio stop. Someone had a flag. I forgot which member, but it was on the Texas flag. And I sent it to Lily, and I was like, "Please stand for the Texas pledge."
Oh, I remember that. I don't remember who it was. Because the only flags that I remember were the S Coops La La Lee one, and then they had Johan with the bow in his hair, and S Coops had both of those.
Yeah, I forgot what was the one with the Texas flag. It was so funny because I literally sent that to Lily, and Lily just recited the whole Texas pledge and changed, the names to whoever, 17, all that stuff. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me.
I'm literally on my phone right now seeing if you texted it to me or went on Messenger. Because if you no, you didn't text it to me, so I can't find it.
I only sent it to Lily. It must be on TikTok because I try to send TikToks to you, but it never usually works.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's been better now. It's been better now.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that is the adventure of our 17 concert, and I'm so glad that TJ finally got into it and is able to experience this, because honestly, who knows when they're gonna have a concert where majority of the group is still in it, because
Right.
now it's starting the process of them enlisting. At least most of them will be enlisting. So yeah, so again, this is kind of like great timing in a sense.
Yeah. Which I wasn't too sad about Johan and June not being there, because first off, Johan, I've got trauma involved with you, sir. Blame the kiddo. And just June, not my cup of tea.
Is another wrap of the Wonderful B2uty.
We hope you enjoyed listening to our 17 ramblings, talking about the concert, hearing my story finally coming out to light, and hearing how both of us got completely bias-wrecked at the show.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I do. I will make it a meme. Don't think I won't. I will message Joshua and Dino personally. Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-mm.
She's guilty now. Dino, if you're listening.
Listen. Don't listen.
At least, you know what? At least I apologize to Vernon.
Oh, okay. So, like, subscribe, comment if you would like to. We would love to hear your experience with the 17 tour. I know it's still currently going right now, because tonight it will be the LA stop and tomorrow as well. Also Los Angeles, you're super lucky to get the city, because we did talk about it in the or we watched it in the Magic Hour documentary, how I think it was Osaka that got the city and how cool it was.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, take advantage of it, you guys. I know the lines are long and everything. I heard lots of bad reviews, but go to the small businesses that are hosting these events. They're going to really love it, and they're having just as much as fun as every carrot out there.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the impact that 17 has had. Like, to mention Joshua's speech yesterday, literally to see that not only is downtown, but also Koreatown is part of this event. The Ferris wheel, I saw the Ferris wheel on Twitter this morning, and it's so beautiful.
It's so, so beautiful, and so cool to think that Joshua Hahn was literally an LA boy. He was just there, being a high school kid, enjoying life, and now suddenly whatever he has put work into is now right there for everyone to love. That is a really cool first full circle moment.
Yeah, and I mean, it really speaks to how amazing they are. I mean, if they could turn somebody like me into a resident of Carrotland, that says a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, it's even that the councilman that was in that LA, the Korean one, that thanked him. Dude, again, how can you even think about K-pop being such a global thing right now? It's huge now. So even for him, a councilman who probably listens to K-pop and didn't think anyone would like it, like, now it's a huge thing, beloved by almost everyone. That's really cool.
Your favorite K-pop group, guys, if you have not had the pleasure to go and visit Carrotland, listen to it. I guarantee you'll find something that you like.
Exactly. Have a good day, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
춤출 수 있어. 솔직히 mix it up right. sugar red spice, brass down like guitar.